All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out today. Chillicothe's businesses are facing a real challenge right now, and we're here to tell you today exactly what the Chamber intends to do about that. So, obviously, there's not a lot of, you don't have to do a lot of guesswork to figure out what's going on right now. We have ongoing infrastructure projects throughout the city, multiple corridors in our community, Bridge Street, downtown, Western Avenue, High Street, others are all affected by all of this because even if you don't have construction in one area, it does affect your area because added traffic. So in other words, if Bridge Street is affected, then East Main Street becomes more traveled because, that's one of the detour routes. And of course, this creates a significant business disruption throughout the city. There are businesses that are experiencing double-digit revenue losses year over year. Staff reductions are occurring in many of our businesses. And we've been listening to all of this. And so what we wanted today to do was to release our coordinated, sustained plan to sort of address all of this. We're calling it Chillicothe Resilient, which is the overall aspect of the plan, but the initial phase of it will be called Bridge the Gap. We call it Chillicothe Resilient because we believe it's not just built for this construction period, but for every challenge that we face moving forward. In Chillicothe, we've had our share of challenges over the last couple of years. Bridge the Gap is what we consider to be a more community-facing campaign, a rallying cry that every resident and visitor and business supporter can act on. We have delivered this with the tagline of shop here, eat here, and stay here. And then again, the overarching aspect of invest in our businesses and invest in our future. There's three big pillars to this plan. One is to drive consumer traffic in the interim, so that way we can help the folks that are deeply affected by this construction the most, providing direct business support and relief resources, and then to build Chillicothe Resilient into a long-standing community identity that can support beyond construction and help us build after that construction is done. We have, to that end, had partner conversations in both the funding and in the communications and resources gap area. We've had folks from ECDI, SBA, and a few others reach out to us, and we continue to have some funding-related conversations for that. We'll have more information on that down the road. We have our friends from the OSU Small Business Development Center who are always willing to reach out and have communications with any businesses to help them try to work through marketing plans and whether or not there are different things that they can do to help them push through this period. And then, I do want to emphasize one thing. This is not the Chamber acting alone. This is a full-blown resource effort between the entire community. We have folks from downtown Chillicothe here, from the city. Unfortunately, I scheduled this press conference in the middle of the Commissioner's Day, and they had some really important work that they're doing with the Sheriff's Department right now. So I did get a note from them today to say that they are 100% behind the initiative, but that they couldn't be here today. The city and the county are committed partners in this initiative. I've been meeting over the last few days with some of the city council members and the mayor and so on and so forth. And I want to make sure that we understand that ODOT is a partner in this as well. We continue to have regular conversations about whether signage can change, other things can change, to ensure that there's less impact as possible moving forward. So one last thing that I wanted to make sure that we noticed as well is that as this has unfolded, we wanted to make sure that we told people that This project and this initiative also intends to be something that in the future, when these types of construction projects are ongoing, or at least announced, that we continue to have these kind of conversations as to how to mitigate the impact on businesses as we move forward. It's important to note that the Bridge Street in particular was talked about years ago, but things like the park project unfolded very, very quickly, and of course we had to meet a timeline in that, so that kind of compacted the schedule quite a bit. So I want to go back real quickly to our conversation about our resource partners. I mentioned that I have had ongoing conversations with SBA and ECDI and even some of our banks here locally. This is not to commit to specific dollar amounts or what those programs look like, because there are a lot of different things that are ongoing right now. We are working very, very hard, though, to find financial and technical assistance resources for the affected businesses. So we want to make sure that folks know that we are not only trying to help with the marketing end of this and to try to drive traffic in that area, but to try to help find funding that will also bridge the gap as well. So in closing, I guess I would say a couple different things. One, for the businesses that are out there, there is a roundtable that we have scheduled for all affected businesses Wednesday, May the 6th, in the Cork Room at Quality Inn on North Plaza Boulevard. We can get that information to you. And there will be also some of those resource partners and others will be in that room as well. We are going to be developing here very soon a Bridge the Gap business directory on our webpage that will help to focus on some of the ones that have been most affected here and hopefully encourage folks to eat, shop, and stay local for their groceries and for everything else. And then we're developing some hashtags and social media participation that will exactly kind of pull folks together and help us to even monitor how folks are doing as well. And so I'll close before we do any questions or anything like that with this. The city has bridged gaps before. We had to do it last year, and last year was a tough year. But we've done this before, and we're going to do it again. Last year at this time, I was telling people that we had survived floods and fires and economic downturns and all kinds of natural and economic misfortune. I feel like we're kind of back in that situation again, and so it's up to us to do exactly what we did last year and what we've done every time in this community, and that's pull together, work together to find the solutions that help our businesses move forward. And so with that, I will take any questions or if anyone wants to add any comments, I'd be happy to take that at this time.
Well, coming from downtown Chillicothe, I would just like to say that we're 100% behind your effort here, and welcome to be a partner in bridging the gap.
Yep.
So whatever we can do to ease the road for our fellow businesses, we're happy to do so.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to note that May 11th, the Mulberry Street area is going to open up, and so that will take there'll be one less construction area that we'll have to be acutely concerned of, but obviously there's still a lot of impact that's coming because Bridge Street, because High Street and everything else. So just trying to make sure that we're all talking in the same language and making sure we all know the right information.
Right.
Anyone else?
How can the Small Business Association help out?
Yeah, so if you remember during COVID, the Small Business Association, US SBA, did economic loans. I'm trying to think of the economic injury loans, I think is what they're called, EIDL. So we're exploring that as a possibility. Those are low-cost, low-interest loans that can help folks bridge the gap. And I'm sure if you're out there and you're hearing this, you're probably saying, well, the last thing that somebody needs when their business is down and their revenue is down is to take on another loan. I understand that decision has to be made at every single business level, and that's, for some people, it may not be viable to do that. We wanted to provide the opportunity for those things, just in case they did need to take those into account. The one thing that's different about this from COVID is there seemed to be a lot of federal money influx into the state that then turned into grants. Those are pretty much gone, and they're not coming back. We've requested of our federal partners to see if we could find anything, but we don't have anything yet. So, I think the low-cost loans that we're talking about are going to be viable for most small businesses, but it's going to have to be up to them to figure out which ones they want to take, or if they want to try to battle it out on their own.
How different has this year been to last year? Last year, everyone was experiencing the growing pains for the first time in many areas, but then here this year, it's like, okay, did I prepare well enough from last year to get through this year?
Yeah, I can only, last year was it's a seismic event, right? When you're talking about the closure of a paper mill and basically a cornerstone of the community for 200 plus years, it is it's the type of event that just has ripple effects throughout everything, right? The city gets affected, the county gets affected, mom and pop businesses get affected. This one's a little bit more, I think, direct impact, because while you could say that less people last year didn't go out to eat or buy, new T-shirts, things like that, because job losses and things like that, this one has sort of come on the heels of that, and so it's made it a little more difficult to say, geez, we thought everything was going to be coming back in 2026, and now people can't get to me, or it's a lot more limited to get to me. And so I think it's been a little bit, it's sort of like taking that large-scale seismic impact and bringing it to a real small level. And so I think the thing that's really, I think, created a lot of buzz for folks is the absence of the people really is the one that sort of drives the unease for the small business owner. Last year, you could sit and point at what happened and say, this is what occurred, and so we understand it. This one might feel a little less understandable because, yes, it might be a little bit harder to get to my business, but I'm still here. I'm still doing the same things that I was doing and not having as much of an impact. So that's why we're trying to direct traffic as much as we can to these businesses, because, we feel like it's through no fault of their own that they're sort of inhibited, but at the same time, we understand that there's a larger scale at play here. When all of this is done, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to bring a lot of people to our community. It's about bridging that gap and making sure that we get them to that end of the road, so that way they can feel pretty confident about where they're going.
Bring on the boom of 27.
Yeah, well, I'm not giving up on 26. We get to November, and I think we can do pretty well. And in fact, I think, once you mobilize folks here, I think we saw this last year. Once you mobilize folks and give them with the clear statistics and the data behind things, the double-digit decreases in revenue are real. We're starting to hear some encouraging signs, but we have to sustain those encouraging signs in order to feel good about it. So, yeah, we think 2027 will be great, but we want to get through 26 for sure. Other thoughts? Well, I want to thank everyone for coming today. Those of you who are either in support or helping to get the word out. I'll reiterate again that Wednesday, 9 a.m. at the Cork Room at Quality Inn, we'll convene our first business roundtable to get the lay of the land, kind of get us all understanding the same language and the same data, but then also kind of walking through some of the steps that we intend to do to help out moving forward. I would also, let people know that, ODOT is a really good partner in this process. They'll be there on Wednesday because they want to be able to, hear firsthand the things that they might be able to do to help alleviate some of the stress. So Again, thanks for everybody for coming today, and on and on. Thank you.